Right, everyone, welcome to the evening. I think we're going to get going. I'm sitting here in a really icy cold Cape Town. We had a bit of stormy weather and rain. And yeah, so let's just start off by welcome everyone. And just remember that this evening is sponsored by Get Smarter. And they are sponsoring a business and systems analysis online course, short course, to the value of 14,900 Rand. That course is IIBA endorsed. At the end of the series, which we will complete later this year, we will be drawing a lucky winner for that. Just quickly by Get Smarter, as you know, they're an online education company based in Cape Town and London. Collaborating with some of the world's leading universities. I see they've got a course from MIT. I believe there's some courses coming out on fintech and on blockchain as well. So look out for those coming through. And I must say I can highly recommend them, having done the advanced project management course. You're welcome to visit their website at Get Smarter or contact them on 0214477565. I'm just going to see if I can play a little video that they sent me. Hopefully you guys can hear this.
For me, Get Smart is that kind of platform that allows you to stay on top of new knowledge that comes through understanding what is happening in the world around you.
My experience of online learning was a very pleasant one. Fitted in with my schedule. I was surrounded by people who were super passionate about learning. Material that I engaged with was thought-provoking. It really stretched us, stretched me.
I wasn't sure what the online learning experience was going to be like.
I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised.
Okay, somehow that video seems to not be coming across. I'm sorry about that. I will try and sort it out for next time. But let's move on so long. So get back to our presentation. Okay, sorry about that, guys. We'll try and figure that out for next time. Just quickly, before we move on to the evening, just a reminder: the BA Summit this year is being held in Cape Town at the Lord Charles Hotel from the 4th to the 6th of September. You're welcome to go to the website, basummit.ca.za. All the costs and details are there, and you can register there as well. From next week, we'll be able to release who our speakers are. Some international speakers we're getting in, and some local speakers and keynote speakers as well. So please go to the website and have a look at the BA Summit. Just quickly, whilst we go through this evening, just please keep your webcams off, keep your mics muted. You're welcome to post questions in the chat line. I'll try and get to them later on. So let's give attention to the speakers. That's why we need the mics muted and the webcams off. And enjoy the evening. Our agenda for tonight. So we're going to be looking at an overview of the IIBA. We're going to be looking at certification journey. And with that, we've got Esther and Reggie who were taking us through that. And we'll end off the evening with a question and answer. Please note, guys, I'm giving away 250 Rand take-out gift voucher. I'm going to ask a question at the end, and hopefully some of you will know the answer because you've been listening carefully. Please post the answer in the chat line, and we'll choose the best or the correct answer. So what is the International Institute of Business Analysis? Okay, so we're made up of a board with Ryan Falster as our president. That's the current board that we have. I'm not going to go through each one of them. You can read it there on the screen. It's an independent body, non-profit. Our role is to elevate the role of business analysts, to be the global thought leader in business analysts, to be an access point for business analysts. We are the voice of the community, and we try and support the profession. It's a global network of chapters made up of about 300 corporate members. There are 120 chapters around the world and about 29,000 members. The value that you can get from the business at the IIBA is coming up on the screen there, and I'm not going to go through each one of these. I'll just highlight one or two of these. And essentially, there's things like the knowledge center. So these are areas where you can go and research some knowledge about business analysis. We offer the BA-BOK guide, which is what your exams will be based on. We offer an online library, which is like a PDF library where you can read books. But there's something that I came across last night that I just want to bring to your attention, and that is the competency model, which just came up on the screen there. It's a tool that's used online for you to assess your skill set as a business analyst, and it's a very comprehensive tool to use. It's only available to you as a member of the IIBA. What is in the BA-BOK? So there's the business analyst core concept model, which is a framework for approaching business analysts. It's made up of 6 knowledge areas and respective tasks. There are about 30 tasks in the BA-BOK. There are about 50 techniques in those knowledge areas and tasks. There are 29 underlying competencies broken into 6 various categories. And then there are 5 perspectives, which is the lens to which you can look at business analysis in various aspects. Why do the... Okay, so recognition in the industry, increased income, professional development, resume value add, and is expected growth in the business industry of about 14% between 2014 and 2024. Now, if you look at what's required to do your certification, tonight we're talking about the CBAP and the CCBA. And I'm just going to concentrate on CBAP because it's the same for the CCBA, it's just less requirements. So basically, you've got to have done at least 7,500 hours in the last 10 years. And you upload onto the IIBA website a portfolio of evidence. You need to provide some references that if the IIBA want to check and verify your data. And we are aware of one in South Africa in the last 2 months where the IIBA has asked for some sort of verification. So it does happen. Then about 900 hours in 4 of the 6 knowledge areas within those 7,500 hours. Then 35 hours of PDU in the last 4 years. Now, unfortunately, what this means, and I was caught by this as well because I'm currently doing my CBAP. If you've done, for instance, an FGI course 10 years ago, unfortunately, you're going to have to do some sort of formal education to earn those PDU points. Now, that education needs to be business analysis aligned. But my suggestion to you is to do a IIBA endorsed course like one at Get Smarter or one at FGI or wherever, because it's going to go a lot quicker to have your entrance to exam assessed if that course has been aligned to or endorsed by the IIBA. You need to provide 2 references, people that you've worked for that can vouch for your having done business analysis work. You need to sign a CBAP code of conduct, and they're quite strict on that. And then your final thing is, once you've got entrance to do an exam, you will then have to sit a 3.5 hours exam. If you're in Cape Town, I believe that exam center is in Claremont. I'm not sure about the other centers. And that exam consists of 120 multiple choice questions. And these questions are case study based. For those of you who are more than 10 years, and there's the CBATL, and these are those who have expertise in the business field. They're well thought of after. They're people that advance the profession, they give back to the community, they mentor people, they coach younger BAs, and they contribute to the evolution of our practice. At this point, I am going to hand over to Esther. Esther has done BA-BOK 2, and she also has done BA-BOK 3, so she's going to just talk to us what the difference is between the two. Esther?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you. Go for it.
Okay.
Yes, hi Esther, can hear you.
Okay. Thank you guys for dialing in. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Just hold on. I just want to, so that my screen can come up nicely. But today I will be, yes, like what Paul said, I've been fortunate to be able to write a CBAP exam for version 2 and version 3. So I'll be talking more about the comparison and the difference between those exams. Okay, my next slide. On version 2, it was a computer-based with 150 multiple choice questions, and the duration was 3.5 hours. Version 3 is 120 multiple choice questions. Same duration, 3.5 hours. And people, you must not be misled by looking at the number of questions. The version 3, if you look at number 2 there, when I talk about questions which are based on scenarios, they do have some questions based on number of mini cases studies, which is at the end of the day, you will end up needing that 3.5 hours. So like I will give you an example. If on version 3, that case study, it will be like 1 to 1.5 pages, where you have to read, and then after that they will give you like 4 questions coming from that case study, and you need to answer those questions. So at the end of the day, even though we can say it has 120 questions, you end up answering multiple questions on one case study. Another thing, I just put something there. I said financial analysis. Sometimes what I've seen, this is a technique which you can also use. So what I've seen, sometimes if you are not familiar with the technique, sometimes people just don't study that technique, and you find on the exam, I remember this financial analysis on version 3 was there, and it has, I think, 4 questions. So what I'm trying to say, don't leave anything. You must just make sure all the techniques, you are studying them until you understand what is happening. Version 2, it was more based on scenarios. I just give you an example there where I said Julie sends and receives data files every day as part of her job. Which best describe Julie? Maybe something which somebody can answer, maybe when Paul asks questions. So it was based on scenarios, but even version 3, yes, there are a lot of scenarios, but there are a lot of mini case studies. So you must expect that on that exam on version 3. Yes, another thing is it has version 2. It has some few definitions. I just gave you an example of a prototype. So they will give you different prototype and ask you sort of like a definition, and you need to know which prototype belong to that definition. Even version 3, they do still have list number of definitions. So it's the same, even though version 2, it has some few definitions. Another part which I put there was sequence of tasks. It's very important when you are studying to understand, let's say we are talking about elicitation. You need to understand where do you start and where do you end, because somewhere in their questions they can ask you, maybe after preparing elicitation, what is the next step? What do you have to do? So you need to make sure that you read and understand everything before you write this exam. Even in version 3, it's like that. Another thing which I put there, they also talk about, groupings, which sometimes they can ask you which modeling tools are used to document business processes. And they will put some distractors there. And sometimes you'll find it's not even on the BA book. So you must also watch out for that. Even in version 3 is the same thing. That's what I've seen. The other one I was talking about, inputs and elements. This one is also very important to understand which inputs goes to which task. And elements, sometimes you can mix them with inputs. So you also need to be on the lookout for that. It's something which you need also to check. Even in version 3, it's like that. I also talk about the output. You need to understand the input task and the output of that task. It's very important. The other part which I talk about is techniques. So techniques are they will ask you in a different way, where do you use this technique? So it's something you just need. That's my advice. Just study and study so that you can understand and where can you use certain techniques. So even version 3, it was the same thing. You find questions like that. Understanding the stakeholders related to certain tasks. It's something you also need to, you also need to learn and understand who these stakeholders, where do they, for this task, who are the stakeholders who are needed on that task. So version 3 also is the same thing. So I will go, I just put some sample questions which I got from a study guide for Watermark. Like the first question there, I said, which of the following is not part of risk analysis? Risk analysis is a technique. Then they will give you multiple choices. So you need to understand the technique, the risk analysis techniques, so that you can be able to answer that. So I also gave you another question, which techniques tend to be limited to capturing the SE state? So you can see, so they will put something, and when you look at it, sometimes, like if you look at focus groups and requirements workshops, sometimes you can think, oh, this is the right one if you are gazing. But if you read your BA book, you will be able to understand D is the right answer. I gave you the last one, the scenario. So even the scenario, as soon as you were sent to a project, you were advised to begin planning for the requirements work to be done. Can you say you need to read and try to understand the question? Otherwise, you will end up as you're answering the question in a wrong way. So what I can advise is that read the question, make sure you understand the question, and then you will be okay by doing that. So this were the sort of like comparison which I've seen in both versions. The case study, it's intensive. I think Reggie will talk about it, so that how you can go about it. So I think from me, I'm done. Paul. So good luck to everyone who are going to write the CBAP and or who are planning to write a CBAP certification. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Esther. Thank you very much. There've been a couple of questions, guys. I am noting those questions. I will answer them after Reggie's given his presentation. So over to you, Reggie. Let's hear your journey.
Okay, I'll need to share my screen. Good evening, everyone, and I hope everyone can hear me. Hey.
Yes, we can.
All right. Let me just try share my screen here.
So whilst Reggie's getting his screen up, just big congratulations to Reggie because he's one of our newest CBAPs. So Reggie, you just passed recently.
Yes, thanks a lot, Paul. Can you guys see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet, Reggie.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna try share again.
Esther, just stop sharing on your side so Reggie can share his.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you're correct. It was me. Sorry, Reggie.
Okay, there we go, Reggie.
Bye.
All right. So I'm gonna try share my screen again. Great. You should be able to see my screen now. Is that fine?
Yes, Reggie.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys. So I wrote my CBAP in April of this year, right? And I just want to share my journey. So it's a very personal thing, and I think it's something that you can relate to when you write your own exam, which I would encourage you to share your own journey, your own experience, and it will be for the greater good of other BAs, right? So what was my life like? I'm going to present it in three phases. My life before CBAP, my CBAP experience, and I'm going to talk about my life after CBAP. So that is the whole journey, that is the whole experience, right? So my life before CBAP, great. People used to say I was a good BA. I was good at the job that I did, and I got along very. Changing jobs because I was associating myself with leading brands, and that's just how I contracted. So I'll go into an interview and I'll tell people that I associate myself with good brands. So that's why I want to join this, right? And then I would read the BA book just because that's what I believed every BA should be able to do. You should be able to read the BA book and get to understand the best practices. And seldom did I ever share my knowledge and experiences with others because I considered I didn't really have a solid point of reference that was linked or aligned to best practice. But I knew what business analysis was about, and my opinions were either and thither and not really anchored on anything, right? Then I started a BA coaching program, which I'm currently running right now. So I needed to have a reference for my partners. I'm calling them partners. These are people that I interact with or people that are going through the coaching experience with me. And I needed them to have something that they could aspire for as well. And also to be an inspiration to others. So I needed to have something that was referenceable and say, I'm a certified business analyst or I'm a professional business analyst, and this is why I say so. Right. Then this was a very big one for me. CBAP friends, some of them who are online right now, they were an inspiration to me in their business analysis approach. It was just business analysis on another grander scale, and they had different appreciation for their business analysis. So I did appreciate a lot of the work that they did. And also their self-development was evident, and getting this designation was also a sign of the visibility of that self-development. Right. So why did I embark on getting onto CBAP? It was because of the inspiration that I had from friends and colleagues. But at the same time, when you look at, I took this extract from the IIBA international website to say what are the benefits of certification. So the points that I've highlighted in red, or the phrases or words that I've highlighted in red, are the things that I considered that resonated with me. So I wanted to show my expertise, or to have it validated, my expertise validated, and showing that I was competent according to best practice. And professional competence that is also validated. And yes, it does show your career advancement, and it gives you recognition, especially within the business analysis profession as a practitioner. And for my own personal satisfaction as well, in my career, I had to do CBAP. It was something that I had always had on my to-do list that I wanted to do. And certainly it does improve your overall performance because of what you would have exposed yourself in your reading in the CBAP, and continuous improvement in your BA activities. So that was another reason why I thought of doing the certification, and also just to have my experience validated and recognized as a professional business analyst, and also demonstration of my knowledge and skills in business analysis. And how did my preparation journey go about? So this is my road to certification. I've written my experience in certification that is on my LinkedIn. So it's a post on my LinkedIn that you can go through if you ever have time. So my approach to preparing for the BA book. This is what I would consider something that someone must go through. So firstly, is just to have a soft read of the BA book, just for you to get the feel and the makeup of the book or of the guide, just the concepts. Then secondly, you can complete your CBAP application. And if you go on the IIBA, and even Paul alluded to this earlier on, the prerequisites for you to write this CBAP application, you need to complete that and make sure that you meet those requirements. So then, after having made my application, I then went and I did deeper insight reading of the BA book. So now that was reading the BA book to understand it. And I also made use of study aids for more understanding. There are lots of these study aids that are available. And if you are on LinkedIn or if you're on the internet, there are lots of them that are being advertised and being sold. So you just need to be wary of which ones to choose, but try and select ones that are reputable. Okay. If you chat to me on the side, I'll be able to assist you in that regard. Then I set my exam date, because then this would make me stay focused and give me that discipline to say, you know what, I've got a target, and this is the target that I need to subscribe to and work towards that target. So I set my exam date. I took mock tests. There are also lots of these that are available for purchase on the internet. And my advice as well, just make sure you take reputable ones. And I made time, after having taken the mock test, I made time to address areas or that I wasn't really performing well in the mock tests. I did a lot of these mock tests, and most of these question banks, they give you that opportunity to do as many as you can. Then I did a reading of the CBAP exam blueprint again, just to make sure that I understood what was expected of me in the exam. So the blueprint does tell you, yes, it's 120 questions. This is the type of questions that you need to be answering. And you need to go into the exam, obviously knowing what is what you should expect in the exam. So obviously that's a no-brainer to arrive at the exam ahead of time, so that all your jitters and all that, your nerves are calm. I took the self-study route, but what I can attest to is that it requires a lot of discipline. So another option that you can take if self-study is not something that that suits you, you can join a CBAP study group, but you need to find a way of, I'm not sure, maybe probably through the local chapter, the SA chapter, you can ask if there are any study groups that are available. And then you can also attend a CBAP preparation course. There are quite a number of these that are available, that are face-to-face, and some that are even online. Okay. My preparation took me 2 months, but in those 2 months, the 3 days prior to the exam were my very intensive preparation days, right? And I just put a screenshot there of, I made use of Trello for my planning and for my tasks in preparing for the CBAP exam. So you could see that I had a to-do list, a to-do, and then stuff that I was doing and stuff that I was done. So even when I was reading, revising, and that sort of thing, or even doing the registrations and all that, I had it all planned out. Then the exam itself, this is very important for you to make sure that you understand all the knowledge areas. And within those knowledge areas, I did put for both CBAP and CCBA to say what is the split in question allocation in the exam. So obviously the area requirements analysis and design definition carries 30%. So that already tells you that's an area that is going to have a lot of questions, and you need to be well versed in that, but not discounting every other knowledge area, because obviously in totality you need to be able to be competent across, right? For you obviously to pass the exam. Right, the exam is 3.5 hours long, like Esther said, but in total it's going to take you 4 hours, because you go and write it at an exam venue where the first 15 minutes is for you to familiarize yourself with how to take the exam, and the last 15 minutes are just for you to do an assessment of how you felt about the exam. There are no scheduled breaks on the exam, and I can tell you, you won't even see how those 4 hours go by, and you won't need any scheduled breaks at all. 120 multiple choice questions, which are case study based. The case studies are a bit long, a page to a page and a half of information. So you're going to read a page to a page and a half, and it's about 4 or 5 of those long case studies that come across. And each case study will have about 3 to 5 questions per case study. So you need to read the case study for understanding. Right. The assessment is on practical application of the defined competencies. So you need to apply what you have learned from the BA book. How does it apply in this scenario? So there's a lot of practical application. So it's very, very competency based. You seldom get any question that asks you for any definition. I never came across those, and so it's very competency based. So it's a lot of application. That's why if you go back to my previous screen where I said you need to take a lot of these mock tests to actually see how are you applying those defined competencies. As you can see, I did put a screenshot there. I had to immerse myself in the BA book. So that's a screenshot of my desk at work. Whenever I sit on my desk, I could tell what knowledge areas are there, and I could tell what tasks in each knowledge area, inputs and outputs of each knowledge area. I could also tell the underlying competencies, what are they and what do they comprise of, okay? So that was my CBAP journey. So what is my life after CBAP? So the journey still continues. I came to work. I was very elated when I got the designation, and IIBA does send you an email to say congratulations. So when I got that, I immediately also added my designation to my work signature. But now when you are sending your, going about your day-to-day BA work, the product partners that you work with, they have a certain expectation of you as a professional business analyst. So for me, it means that I have to live up to that expectation for them to see what distinguishes me from every other BA. Okay, so it's a personal thing. Then also, you need to uphold the conduct of the BA practice. It's an agreement that you sign, and it's also in good stead that you just do what is ethical for a BA to do. So living up to that expectation as well. And in my reading of the BA book, you start understanding that within the underlying competencies, there could be areas that are shortcomings in your practicing as a practicing BA. So I took note of those and have been constantly trying to align myself to the BA book, to the competencies that are expected by the practice of a good BA. Then also, I've taken it upon myself to provide assistance to other BAs who want to improve their competencies. And also, as I said, I do have a coaching program that I currently run. Then I've taken it upon myself as well to get involved a lot in the BA community. So trying to develop the practice, trying to get other people to be in the practice as well. So we do hold a lot of chapter events. For example, tomorrow we've got a lean coffee that that is taking place in Rosebank, and I'm also part of those initiatives as well. So in essence, that is my CBAP journey, and I hope what I've shared is of relevance to those who want to go through this journey. Thanks to everyone. Thanks to Paul. And if you've got any questions, I will take the questions.
Thanks very much, Reggie. We're going to move on to question answer time. There has been a few questions that have come through, and I'm going to just go through them quickly. If you've got any more questions, you're welcome to ask on the chat line. So first question was, will the slides be available? We are recording this event, and it will be on YouTube either later tonight or tomorrow, available on the IIBA SA YouTube site, so you can see this entire presentation again. Then I got a question around, does the CBAP expire? Yes and no. So it doesn't expire from the sense of that you have to continue rewrite the exam, but you've got to do a recertification, and that recertification requires you to earn a certain number of CDU points. Now, how do you earn CDU points? So CDU points are like tonight. If you are a certified CBAP or CCBA and you attend a webinar like this, it has to be a live webinar. It can't be a webinar that you go and download and watch. You will earn a certain amount of points. And over a 3-year period, you have to earn a certain number of points. Now, for the life of me, it's escaping what that number is. But if you want to know, you're welcome to go to the IIBA website and you'll find it there. The professional development days that the IIBA hold, and by the way, those in Cape Town, there's one coming up on the 20th of June in Cape Town. You earn CDU points from that as well. Then someone asked me, whilst I'm on those professional development days, do professional development days count towards PDS? No, they don't. Only IIBA courses will count towards professional development points. What's other? Someone asked me, what should they expect in terms of budget to earn those 35 PDU points? Now, that's going to be dependent on which course you do. So 35 PDU points is equal to roughly around 35 hours of face-to-face or online courses. Now, offline, I can talk to you what I did. The courses that I've registered for has cost me in the region of 5,000 Rand. I can tell you can go to a lot more than that depending on who you go to. someone asked me, what are chapters? So, for instance, we have a chapter is a branch of the IIBA. So you become a member of the international IIBA, and then you become a member of the local chapter. So South Africa is a chapter. And then in the various centers, we have volunteer groups that run events like the Professional Development Days. Do I need an IIBA qualification to write? Okay, so let's just go through the requirements. So you need 7,500 hours in the last 10 years of business analysis equivalent work experience within the 4 of the 6 knowledge areas. The second thing is that you need to have 2 references, so people that can testify to the fact that you have done the job as a BA and not a McDonald's burger flipper. Then you need to do a IIBA, not IIBA, sorry, it's a business analysis aligned course. So this could be a IIBA endorsed course. In other words, when you go and look at the course, like the one that Gets Smarter, you will see that has the IIBA trademark on that course. Or you can do a business analyst course that's not endorsed by the IIBA. But that's going to hold up your application because they're going to actually go and look at that course and see how much aligned is it to business analysis. I hope I answered that question sufficiently. If not, please contact me on LinkedIn. Are IIBA courses recognized by the South African Institute of Qualifications and International Equivalence? Okay, first of all, IIBA in itself doesn't offer the course. It's offered by an institution like FTI, like Watermark, like BCM and such. So it's up to those institutions whether they are aligned to the South African Institute of Qualifications or the international equivalents. I know that, for instance, FTI is aligned. I know that Get Smarter is aligned. Let's see, what else? Okay, that's all the questions I've had so far. Are there any more questions here on the chat line? Okay, so Reggie, there's a question for you. How long did you study for? You want to answer that one?
Sure, I hope you can hear me. So my studying, I would say it took approximately 2 months of intensive study. But the preparation towards the exam was the 3 days towards the exam were those very intensive, probably I would say 6 to 9 hours of study. And yeah, that was very intense. So I did the whole of Easter. I was actually studying for my exam because I wrote, I think, on the Wednesday just after the Easter. I hope that answers the question.
Thanks, Reggie. Okay, so here's a question from Murray. I want to prepare for my CCBA exam. Can anyone recommend a reputable preparation courses? Murray, if you go to the IIBA website and you go to endorsed learnings, you will see a link to every single service provider in South Africa and internationally that is endorsed by the IIBA. You're also welcome to contact me offline. Obviously, I can't sort of uncertain, I can't sort of like market everyone here, but you're welcome to contact me offline and I'll certainly give you my thoughts. What are the IIBA credit course options for earning periods? Again, Mana, that's a question, it's the same answer as the previous question I answered for Murray. Okay, so that's all the questions. If there are any more questions, you're welcome to bring them through. So whilst we do that, I've put up on the screen the links to our websites. I'll leave it up there for you to copy down so long. In the meantime, I'm going to ask a question for our 250 Rand gift voucher to take.
Paul, there's another question that has just come up. What is the difference between ECBA and CBAP?
Okay, I'll answer that question now. Thanks, Reggie. Okay, so whilst I'm just going to ask that question quickly, and you guys can put your answers to so long whilst I respond to that question. My question is, how long is the CBAP exam? Simple, easy question. If you're listening, you'll know the answer. So post your answers on, and I see quite a few people are coming through. Just click on the draw there with answers, and you're all correct. So I'm going to have to do a quick draw on one of those, but I'll come back to that now. Okay. So what is the difference between the IIBA and the CBAP? So if we just go back to my slide, I hope you all got those websites. Let me share that screen for you. Okay, so there you go. So the IIBA, that's the entry-level course. No experience required. Virtually, it's just 21 hours in the last 4 years, and you sign an IIBA code of conduct. That's preferably someone who's just into the industry and has got about maybe 2 years to 4 years worth of experience, and you don't write an exam. The CBAP, that's, as you can see on the screen, 7,500 hours, 900 hours in 4 of the 6 knowledges. You need to have earned 35 PDUs, whether an accredited course or non-accredited course, but BA, Business and Analysis aligned in the last 4 years. You need to have 2 references, and you need to write a 3.5-hour exam. The CCBA is in between the IIBA and the CBAP. That's 3,750 hours and 900 hours in at least 2 of the 6 knowledge areas. And just on that, there's a lovely little spreadsheet online that can help you work out these hours. Contact me on LinkedIn, and I'll send a link through to you on how to get it. Hope that answers that question. Someone here, Yashwant, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I've been an IT consultant over 20 years. Part of the task included BA activities. What is the best way to account for the previous experience towards the CCBA question? So the nice thing is, if you read the BA book, it talks around that you don't have to have the title of BA. It's more about, did you do the task, did you do the job of a BA? So again, I think the best way for you to account for the previous experience is actually to read to the BA book and start to see what of those tasks align to the work you've done, and also maybe that Excel spreadsheet that I talked about earlier. Again, contact me on LinkedIn. I'll make sure that a link gets through to you so you can have a look at that. Let's see, are there any more questions? Okay, Mana, if I complete a BA course more than 4 years ago, does that mean I have to redo something like that for the required PDU? Mana, unfortunately, yes. I've had to do the same thing. I did my course at FTI 10 years ago, and I'm currently doing an additional course. My suggestion here is go look at something that you wanted to study in the business analysis world. Maybe how to be an agile BA. There are various courses and a lot of different types of courses that you can do. It doesn't have to be purely the base BA course. So go have a look at those. Okay. Righto. So I'm going to, okay, how can I get hold of the BA book? You need to either be a member of the IIBA to get it, or if you register for the exam, you'll get it, or some of these courses actually give you a copy of the BA book. Shivana says, if we do a certification, how long are we given to study? How do we get an exam date? Okay, I'm looking at IIBA. Shivana, IIBA, there is no exam, so you don't need to worry. But to answer that question for the rest of the people, so remember what I said to you, you got to provide evidence of those hours that you've spent. So you fill in an online application, you put in all the hours, you fill in your references, you indicate what courses you've done for the 35 hours of PDU. You then submit that to the IIBA, and they may or they may not come back and say, listen, I need you to justify or prove your 7.5 hours. Or they might say, okay, no, they're happy and they accept it. At that point, you then can set your exam. If I'm not mistaken, it's maximum 12 months from the date that you actually request the exam date. So you've got 12 months which to write. Reggie, maybe you can verify that?
Yes, once your application has been accepted, you've got 12 months before its expiry for you to sit for the exam.
Okay, so here's a question, Sonia. Is product owner course sufficient as a course? Sonia, I haven't seen any product owner courses being endorsed by the IIBA. I might be wrong, but my suggestion is go and look on the IIBA website and have a look and see if they are endorsed. Okay.
Can I just assist on that one, Paul?
Yes. Yeah.
As long as the course is BA BOK aligned, or whatever content is covered in that course is BA BOK aligned, it can be something that is acceptable. Because remember, when you give details of the course that you have that goes towards your PDU, which is professional development units, they need to verify that it is BA BOK aligned. So they will ask for whoever is the course provider for their details, and IIBA will check that.
Okay. And does that also apply to certified CSPO at Scrum Alliance?
I'm not sure specifically about Scrum Alliance, but if it is a BA, if whatever activities or whatever content that is covered in that CSPO course, that product owner course, if it is aligned to the BA BOK, IIBA will accept it.
I think coming back to Rich's early point, and he's spot on, he's 100% right there. If it's aligned to business, that's aligned to the BA BOK, they will accept it. But remember a comment I made earlier, if it's a non-IIBA endorsed course, but it is aligned to the BA BOK, they are going to investigate it first, and it's going to hold up your application. So you need to weigh up, are you in a rush, you want to get this done, then do an IIBA endorsed course. Another question, what does PDU stand for? It's a professional development unit is what it stands for. Okay, Kerry asked, does being a business analyst require a large IT background? That's $1 million question, Kerry. Some people can say yes, absolutely. But if you look at the BA BOK, there's nothing in there that's IT related. I certainly didn't start in the IT field, and I've ended up in the IT field. So for my personally, no, you don't need a large IT. It depends on the environment you work. It depends on the job description you've got. So Sonia asked, how do we know if it's a line up front? Sonia, we don't. You'd have to submit it online. And they will then do an assessment of that course. Okay, I've answered the question, how do I get the latest BA BOK? What has been the acceptance of the BA certification in South Africa? Alternatively, has a certification been requirement for a BA role? Yes, I've certainly probably in the last 6-7 months started to see some job specs coming through with certification on it. It is something that is starting to grow. I do know that one of the banks in South Africa has said that all their BAs have to be certified. Okay.
And I think just to add more to that, Paul, if you're just going on any job portal, all the available job portals, you can just look at the business analysis job profiles that are being posted there. And some do actually specify that they require someone with a business analysis certification of sorts.
Right.
So that could be of assistance.
Great, thank you. Okay, there's one more question, and I still need to give away this prize, guys. So Mona asks, how do you access which knowledge areas you qualify for? How do you, I'm not too sure what you're asking there. Maybe you can come online and just quickly verbalize it.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, sure, go for it.
So basically what I want to understand just is, I've got around more than 10 years experience in a business systems analyst area. So I need to decide on whether I will go for the CBA or the CBAP. So in terms of the knowledge areas, so for the CBA, you look at 2 knowledge areas, where for the CBAP, you look at 4 knowledge areas. So how do you make that kind of...
Okay. So I think the first thing is the BA-BOK, to look at what's the tasks that are in the BA-BOK. The second thing is, if you contact me on LinkedIn, I'll send you a link to a Excel spreadsheet that you can download from a website, from one of the service provider. It's free. And in that spreadsheet, you can actually use the BA-BOK to see what projects you've worked on and how many hours have you put into the various areas. So for instance, under strategy analysis, you'll go through the BA-BOK, see what the tasks are done under strategy analysis, and you can start to determine how many hours of your project you've put into those areas. The spreadsheet is quite nice, it works out quite nicely for you. Does that help?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think it will just be a challenge to go back over the years and try to remember what you worked on and how long and so on. But
yeah, I know. I'm busy with mine. I'm probably about 3 months into the task of getting it all up and running and trying to figure it out. For those of you who want to just connect with me on LinkedIn, it's Paul Ben. That's BENN, 2 N's. And you're welcome to ask me questions there. And certainly, if I don't know the answer, I'll put you in the right direction. Okay, so guys, my little helper, my little pixie, has chosen a winner for our 250 Rand gift voucher, and it is Kumalo. Well done. I will pop you a mail with a voucher and send that on to you in the next day or 2. Well done. Okay, guys, I think that's it for the evening. If there are no more questions, as I said, contact me on LinkedIn if you really want to ask more questions, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks, everyone, for joining.
Bye, Paul.
Thanks, Esther. Thanks,
Thanks to
Reggie.
everyone. Bye, guys.